For most of his life, Jason stays on the safe side of the fence. But at 46, standing beside his family, as dirt track cars thunder past, a dream buried since childhood suddenly returns with one uncomfortable question. What if it isn't too late? Jason is an accountant with a family, a career, and a life built around responsibility. Beginning now means spending real money and time, and risking the discovery that he might not be any good. He isn't setting out to prove he can win. He is trying to learn whether he can responsibly begin. Jason lives somewhere in Kansas and works as an accountant. His professional life rewards preparation. Numbers are supposed to add up. Risks are supposed to have explanations. Decisions are supposed to survive a second look. That way of thinking serves him well. It also makes him very good at explaining why a dream should wait. There is always a sensible reason. Work is busy. The family calendar is full. Racing is expensive. He doesn't have the right car, the right experience, or the right amount of time. And unlike the decisions he handles at work, this one comes with no clean forecast. There is no spreadsheet cell for, what if I embarrass myself? Although, given enough time, Jason probably creates one. As a boy, Jason becomes fascinated with racing. The appeal is immediate. The sound, the speed, and the cars moving sideways through the dirt. He imagines what it feels like to be inside one of them. Not watching, driving. But most childhood dreams do not disappear in one dramatic moment. They are displaced gradually. Education comes first, then work, then bills, schedules, responsibilities, and the effort of building a stable life. The dream moves from soon to someday. Then someday becomes a story Jason tells himself about the person he used to be. He becomes competent in another world. People come to him for answers. He knows how to solve problems, meet deadlines, and make responsible choices. Starting over means giving up that familiar position. At the track, he is not the expert. He is the 46-year-old asking basic questions. And he may discover that years of imagining something do not make him naturally good at it. After years away from racing, Jason goes to a dirt track event with his family. The experience does more than remind him that he likes cars. It returns him to an earlier version of himself. The engines sound louder than he remembers. Dirt hangs in the lights. The crowd seems to understand that being covered in dust is part of the ticket price. Somewhere between the first green flag and the drive home, the old dream stops feeling entirely fictional. It is easy to call this a midlife crisis, but that label makes the decision sound simpler and less serious than it is. Jason is not trying to escape his life. He is wondering whether there is still room inside that life for something he never attempts. The question is no longer, is racing exciting? Of course it is. The question becomes, can he begin without being reckless? Jason's first responsible decision is also the least cinematic. He starts researching. Dirt track stock car divisions do not use one universal name or one universal set of rules. A beginner-oriented car might be called a hobby stock, pure stock, factory stock, street stock, or something else entirely. The name matters less than the current rulebook at the track where the car will actually run. This changes the order of the plan. Jason cannot simply find a race car he likes and hope a nearby track accepts it. The track and class come first, then the car. It is the first sign that following a dream involves rather more paperwork than the posters suggest. Then come the numbers. Age may be only a number, so is $20,000. And Jason, being an accountant, respects both. The approved plan places a $20,000 ceiling on the entire beginning, not just the car. The exact amounts can change. A real car can require more. A hidden structural or drivetrain problem can make the entire plan unworkable. The purpose of the ceiling is not to promise that $20,000 is enough. It identifies the point at which Jason stops. Because follow your dreams sounds romantic until the dream needs a trailer. Time matters too. The preparation model allows 4 to 6 months, generally 6 to 8 garage hours a week, plus occasional evenings at the track. That is not spare time. It has to come from somewhere. The plan remains responsible only if it can coexist with work, family, savings, and the rest of Jason's life. Used dirt track cars appear at a wide range of asking prices. Some incomplete projects are advertised for only a few $1,000s. More complete or higher spec packages reach well into 5 figures. But an asking price proves only what a seller wants. It does not prove that the car is legal, safe, complete, or suitable for Jason's intended class. A cheap car can become expensive precisely because it is cheap. The cage might not match current rules. The belts could be out of date. The seat might not fit. The engine, brakes, fuel system, steering, or trailer could require work the advertisement never mentions. One current national hobby stock rule package runs through detailed requirements for the chassis, roll cage, seat, fuel system, brakes, helmet, fire-resistant clothing, restraints, window net, and neck protection. The lesson is not that Jason needs to memorize a rulebook on screen. It is that the wrong car can end the attempt before it begins. So, he makes another decision. He will not treat the words "race ready" as an inspection report. He looks for experienced help, compares each candidate against the intended rules, and protects enough money to correct what the purchase price does not reveal. Eventually, the research stops being theoretical. Jason finds an older used stock car that fits the illustrative purchase framework. He has not driven it. He does not know whether he will be fast. He does not even know whether the project will remain inside the ceiling once every unknown becomes visible. But he buys it. For years, the racing dream costs him nothing, because it exists only in his imagination. Now it occupies space. It needs tools, parts, attention, and a place on the calendar. The purchase does not make Jason a racer. It makes him responsible for a race car. Those are not the same thing. But for the first time, the dream has weight. Jason begins rebuilding and checking the car against the intended path. The temptation is to think first about speed. But speed is not the first gate. Compatibility and safety are. The seat and restraints have to fit correctly. The cage and protective systems require qualified review. The controls have to function. Jason needs to be able to enter and leave the car while wearing complete equipment, and he has to prepare himself. Research on motorsport shows that authentic driving can involve significant cardiovascular, muscular, thermal, and mental strain. But none of that allows the story to diagnose Jason, or declare him safe or unsafe, simply because he is 46. His age provides context. His individual health, preparation, fit, recovery, and the conditions determine what comes next. There is no invented medical clearance. There is no promise that general fitness guarantees racing readiness. If symptoms, physical limitations, or other concerns appear, the responsible answer is to pause and seek appropriate guidance. The car also forces Jason to confront something the spreadsheet cannot solve. He needs people. At work, experience makes him valuable because he often knows the answer. In racing, experience begins with learning whom to ask. So Jason starts connecting with racers, builders, and track officials. The narrator cannot invent a mentor, a testimonial, or a conversation that never happens, but the story can show the decision that matters. Jason stops treating ignorance as something to hide. He begins using it as a reason to enter the community. That is part of the internal test. Can a competent adult tolerate being visibly new? Can he ask a question without first knowing enough to make the question sound impressive? Can he let someone else point out that the part he has been staring at for 20 minutes is in fact upside down? Occasionally, humility comes with technical assistance. The original test is not whether Jason can win a race. It is whether the dream can survive contact with adult reality. Can it withstand the money, time, safety requirements, household responsibilities, and discomfort of becoming a beginner? The answer is conditional, but observable. Jason chooses a class direction. He sets limits. He buys an older car. He begins the work, and he enters a community that can help him continue responsibly. Jason is not a racer yet. There is no green flag, no lap time, and no evidence that he has the instincts to compete. The car still faces inspection. Controlled practice remains ahead. The financial demands of a full season remain unknown. This story does not prove that age is only a number. It does not prove that it is never too late. And it certainly does not prove that every expensive childhood dream should be rescued from storage. It establishes something smaller, and perhaps more useful. Too late is not the first question Jason needs to answer. The first question is whether he can make the next commitment honestly. Can he protect his family and finances? Can he respect the rules and physical risk? Can he accept help? Can he begin without pretending that beginning guarantees success? At 46, Jason stops treating the dream as something that belongs only to his younger self. He buys the car. He begins the work. He enters the community.